So now I'm in the hospital. He said to me, you're going to clean bronzes because you're going to become a man. I'm going to make you tough. You got to do something, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to use these pellets. Here's a big barrel of them. I get them from a chemical supply store. You drop them in water, and then you dip in your brush and wash the bronze, and the black comes off, and it looks shiny again. The customer wants the shiny statue for a lamp. So I say to him, how do you know it's not going to kill me? Here's what Abraham says to me. I mean, in the modern-day story, he says, because there's a potassium salt of the cyanide and a sodium salt of the cyanide. But here's the kicker. Dad doesn't tell me which one kills and which one dissolves patina, which is exactly why I went into science and medicine and chemistry, to find out whether he was trying to knock me off or not. I'm sorry, this is good writing. I'm sorry, this is good. Nobody else would do this except Louis from the Bowery, the one with the monkey. We get rubber gloves on up to our elbows and drop these white pellets into water, then turn it into a cyanide solution. Then we take the brush and rub the figure until the patina came off the bronze. I'm rubbing. It would take you an hour or two to do each statue. Rub, I'm a kid, I'm rubbing. And what I'm thinking about is where I'm going that night. I'm going out on a date or to hang out with my friends, or I'm going to a movie. Meanwhile, my face would be getting blotched, and I'm rubbing and cleaning in what's like a Dickens basement. So I get into high school chemistry years later, and I told my teacher what I was doing. I was using cyanide balls. My father had a huge chemical supply. It was not used for anything but this. I said to the teacher that I use these cyanide balls for cleaning statues, for cleaning solution. Teacher said, what? It's poisonous, but don't get worried. There's a sodium cyanide, and there's a potassium cyanide salt. Now, to this day, I don't know which one kills you. If you're a doctor reading this or listening to this on the Savage Nation or a trained scientist, I want you to think about what I'm going to say. Is it possible that inhaling the fumes that didn't kill you outright in some way mitigated against the oxidation of fatty foods powering through my arteries? I have a pet theory that in some way, although it blotched my face, it built up my immunity to something. I know it did. I just don't know what. So that story is found in Psychological Nudity by Michael Savage. Great story. Worthy of a movie. I'll be right back. Imagine discovering an opportunity that can completely rebuild your retirement fund by 40% over the next 2 years. Does it sound too good to be true? It's not if you take action today. Call my good friends, and I mean good friends, at Swiss America. Gold IRAs have averaged 20% per year growth since 2001. It's just common sense to roll over dead paper assets into gold, the best performing asset of the century. Then you can relax no matter what happens on Wall Street. Call now for a complete Gold 101 DVD and my free CD.
Call toll-free 888-867-8965. That's 888-867-8965.
For nearly a decade, I've told you to trust gold coins and Swiss America. Today, it's more urgent than ever. Get my CD, DVD, a new special report.
Call toll-free 888-867-8965. That's 888-867-8965.
Learn before you earn. Don't just imagine rebuilding your wealth. Do it now.
Call 888-867-8965 today.
On the air, online, and on the go. This is Talk 910 KNEW.
Lately, there's been a lot of debate about Obama's underlying political ideology. And, is Obama acting as a communist or something else? Well, you know my feelings on this. Joining us today for his opinions is Dr. Peter Breggin.
Yes, Michael. Lately, there's been considerable discussion about whether Obama is a Marxist or a fascist. Now, he rose to power like a typical Marxist by organizing the poor. Obama's original support was probably strongest among unemployed recipients of government handouts and those leftists and intellectuals who claim to advocate for them. Typical of Marxists, he also expresses both Ameriphobia and fervent internationalism. So Obama's sympathies and origins are Marxist, but so far he's mostly redistributing wealth to big corporations. So he's clearly not behaving like a conventional Marxist.
Well, what do you feel are the differences between a communist and a fascist in this case?
Let me start with the similarities. Both Marxists and fascists are statists who favor big government. Both begin with powerful, charismatic leaders who want to run all-powerful central governments. As another similarity, both Marxists and fascists want to destroy the middle class, the owners of small businesses, middle management, professionals, and skilled technicians and workers. Middle-class folks are independent and responsible. They resent the burden of government regulations and taxes. They want the freedom to work hard to improve their own lives and the lives of their children. At least in America, those who see themselves as middle class don't believe in big government and the welfare state. In short, both Marxists and fascists want charismatic leaders to take over the government and to strengthen its power. In order to accomplish this, both Marxists and fascists try to suppress a vigorous middle class. Where Marxists and fascists differ is their publicly declared constituencies or power bases. Fascists tend to locate their power in the wealthy classes, especially in the leaders of large companies and industries. Their goal is to manage the existing economic structure from the top down. This is the surprising and shocking direction that Obama has taken since becoming president.
So you see Obama as changing his political agenda or direction, do you?
Yes, to a limited extent. Obama built his original power base from a Marxist internationalist viewpoint. Now those who claim to advocate for the poor are safely in his pocket. They helped him get into power, and they have no alternative leaders, none whatsoever. From now on, Obama can turn his attention elsewhere, exactly as he's done. Immediately after his election, Obama began to focus on the political establishment and especially on corporate America. He made corporate America into his new constituency and doled out billions to them. Even when they didn't want the money, he forced it on America's companies. In that way, he took control over the economic engine from the top down and made CEOs and their boards afraid of him and dependent upon him.
In your opinion, will Obama turn out to be a Marxist or a fascist or something else?
I think it all depends on what Obama has to do to maintain his power. His long-term goal is that of all statists, to use the government to gain as much power and as much control over the nation as possible. We often talk of entitlements in regard to government handouts. There's another kind of entitlement that is key to understanding President Obama. Obama is not driven by ideology as much as by his self-righteous sense of personal entitlement to run the country. Like so many statists, he is less a fascist or a Marxist than a power-seeking opportunist. Like most people who feel entitled to break the rules for their own gain, opportunism is Obama's ideology. When we examine Obama's pronouncements about the need for national health care, we find a shifting series of justifications: insuring the uninsured, then saving money, then undermining the greedy insurance companies, then taking on the even more greedy and dangerous doctors, and now a morality of caring. Beneath this political pragmatism lies something much more ominous. Obama wants to build a permanent health care bureaucracy as the cutting edge of socialism. Once national health care is set into the political stone of this bureaucracy, America will be transformed forever. Our great bastion of freedom will crumble. Meanwhile, the hope for America remains with the middle class, for those hard-working, responsible people who want a chance to earn a decent living and to take care of their families and communities. Starting with the middle class, Americans must vote Obama and his supporters out of office before it's too late. That brings us to what I call the primary principles, the refrain of my weekly report. Protect freedom, take responsibility at all times, express gratitude for all your gifts and opportunities, become a source of love. You can find me and listen to all these Savage Nation reports and download the transcripts at Breggin.com. That's BREGGIN.com.
Thanks, Dr. Breggin.
Savage.
The home of the Savage Nation in the belly o' the beast, San Francisco. Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com. The Scottish Justice Minister, so-called Kenny McCaskill, who released the Lockerbie bomber to a hero's welcome in Libya, continues to defend his decision. The rage of the entire world hasn't convinced this mentally disordered liberal that he was wrong. Listen.
It is a matter of great regret that Mr. al-Megrahi was received in such an inappropriate manner. It showed no compassion or sensitivity